Welcome to our audio commentary coverage. This broadcast is not an official product of this competition.
There actually have been draws, but Chelsea do hold the historical advantage in this fixture. So Chelsea are actually unbeaten in the last 16 Premier League clashes with the Eagles, and they'll be looking to try and extend that this afternoon. So if we go through the two sides for you, Oliver Glasner is going to set his side up in a very familiar 3-4-3 formation. There is a change of captain, obviously, with Mark Gahey now at Crystal Palace, and that captain will be Dean Henderson in goal. The back three will be Richards, Lacroix and Canvo. Four across the midfield will be Munoz, Wharton, Lerma and Mitchell, with Ismail Assar and Brennan Johnson supporting Jean-Philippe Mateta up front. Liam Rosenior's second Premier League game in charge, and there's a few changes in his side. It will be Robert Sanchez in goal. It's a 4-2-3-1 formation for the new Chelsea manager. Captain Reece James, Chalobah, Badiashile and Cucurella make up the back four. Santos and Caicedo will sit in front of the back four. Esteval and Neto providing some width, with Enzo Fernandez tasked with supporting João Pedro up front. If we run through the benches for Crystal Palace, it's Benitez, Riyad, Souza, Imre, Devaney, Rodney, Hughes, Pino and Uche. Chelsea have a debutant on the bench potentially in Sharman Lowe, the keeper, who's just been recalled from Bolton. They also have Hato, Achimpong, Gusto, Fofana, Garnacho, Gittings, Delap and Guiu. A few missing for both sides. Nketiah, Kamada and Klein still on the injury shortlist for Crystal Palace. And Cole Palmer, Jorgensen, Tossin and Levi Colwill still injured for the away side. So Crystal Palace will be in their familiar red and blue stripes. Chelsea in their white away kit this afternoon as we are getting ready. It looks a bit of a wet afternoon with interchangeable weather, as always in England. Could make things a little bit interesting for both sets of players. So home form not being the best for Crystal Palace, not won in the Premier League here since the 1st of November. Chelsea's away form not great either. Haven't won away since the 22nd of November. So unless we get another draw to make it 4 in a row in this fixture, something has to give. Oliver Glasner making his way out to the dugout. Obviously announced recently that he will be leaving at the end of the season after that fantastic FA Cup victory at the end of last year. He'll be looking to try and steer his side away from potential relegation. Crystal Palace might be looking over their shoulder after West Ham's victory yesterday against Sunderland. Only 8 points clear of the drop currently. They do still have European plans in the playoff round for the Europa Conference League next month. So both sets of players have done the intermediaries, they've shaken hands, and we're pretty much ready to go here at Selhurst Park. It will be Chelsea to get us underway, and they will be shooting from right to left. And it's João Pedro who's going to be tasked with the kick-off, and the whistle goes and we're underway, and João Pedro sends that straight back to Robert Sanchez, all in green this afternoon, the Spaniard. And all the players go into the Crystal Palace half. So Sanchez launches it long and left to start with. Headed away by Munoz, back in the side this afternoon for Crystal Palace. Chelsea keep possession with Badiashile knocking it back to his keeper. Bit of a slow start from both sides in the first 30 seconds. No real press from Crystal Palace just yet. Ball with Badiashile in the left-back position. He finds Pedro Neto ahead of him, who flicks it neatly up the line for Cucurella, who will run into the Crystal Palace half at speed. Plays the ball in towards João Pedro. We'll go all the way across to Esteval, the Brazilian, who finds Enzo outside him and pulls it across the goal. And that's gone through everyone. And that will be a fleck off of one of the defenders, and that will be a corner in the first minute for Chelsea on this near side. Good endeavour from Enzo to get round the back, and it fizzed the ball across the face of the goal. Reece James, the Chelsea captain this afternoon, coming over to take this corner. Plenty to aim for in the box. João Pedro right in front of Dean Henderson to make life difficult for the England keeper. Ball comes in towards the near post, and it's a free kick given by our match official. There's a push in there by Badiashile. Trevor Chalobah in there as well, making nuisance of himself. So free kick to Crystal Palace. Dean Henderson, all in orange, just places the ball down in the 6-yard area, and then Crystal Palace get us underway, and it's sent forward and long up towards Mateta, who's battling with Chalobah. Can't bring the ball down, but Brennan Johnson pressuring in behind, but good defending from Chelsea as Reece James just mops that up in a good defensive area. Chalobah with his right arm still taped together in bright white tape, plays it on to Andre Santos in the centre, and Chelsea just pop it around in midfield. Good footwork from Santos, but can't go forward, so he has to come back to Chalobah. Chalobah and Badiashile just trade passes before Badiashile sends it forward. It's intercepted by Crystal Palace. Adam Wharton in the midfield. It's now back with Maxime Lacroix, just in front of his own box. Finds Chris Richards before sending it back to Dean Henderson. Adam Wharton picks it up just outside his own area. He drives forward and plays the ball up to Mateta on halfway. He tries to knock it to Brennan Johnson. He can't get the ball to the Welshman, but does win himself a free kick on halfway for Crystal Palace. Kick taken quickly out to the right-hand side where Colombian Daniel Munoz picks the ball up, and he'll switch it over to the left where Tyrion Mitchell just places it back in towards the centre-backs. Lacroix moves it to the left-hand side. JD Canvo at the back for Crystal Palace this afternoon. Only his third start in the Premier League. Sends the ball forward towards Mateta. He's been wrestled off of it. Chelsea in possession, but in their own penalty box, and Sanchez has to clear that long left-footed. Canvo does well to wrestle the ball off of Pedro Neto. Maxime Lacroix has it on halfway. He plays it to the left to find Chris Richards. Richards playing on the left side of that defence this afternoon, usually on this right-hand side. Has swapped with the young Frenchman, Canvo. Chris Richards usually has that iconic big afro haircut. Has all been trimmed down by the looks of things today. A new sleek look for the American centre-back. Chelsea in possession on halfway, and it's Estevao, the exciting Brazilian, tries to go on the outside of Mitchell, who puts the ball into touch. So throw into Chelsea just in front of the dugouts. Throw in taken back to Reece James, and Chelsea will begin their possession just in their back line, and it's Badiashile plays it over to Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea will try and come forward with Reece James, who clips the ball into the channel over halfway, and too strong there for João Pedro, so that'll roll all the way through to Dean Henderson. 8 clean sheets for Dean Henderson in the Premier League this year. Obviously, as mentioned previously, picking up the captain's armband after Mark Gay. He might have some work to do here as Pedro Neto managed to nick the ball high up, but Palace alert the danger. Now Palace can try and break on this right-hand side. Mateta finds Munoz, who's now level with the edge of the area. Cuts it back in for Mateta, whose shot is charged down and hacked away by Cucurella, and that'll roll all the way through to the Crystal Palace captain. He just sends it first time to Chris Richards, and Palace will come again with Lacroix. Out to the right-hand side for Daniel Munoz. Finds Wharton inside under pressure. So Wharton just turns around and gives it back to his defence. Palace happy just to keep the possession in the back line, and it's young Canvo. Trades passes with Wharton, but Wharton's just going to use his brief experience in the Premier League to knock that back to Captain Henderson. Lacroix takes the ball off his keeper just on the edge of the area, finds Canvo, knocks it up the line towards Sarr, but Chelsea win the header, and Chelsea will have possession on halfway with Caicedo, who's fouled by Adam Wharton. And that'll be a free kick for Chelsea, just inside the centre circle. Taken quickly by the away side, and it's Reece James just inside his own half, who looked to go forward but then just cuts inside and knocks the ball to Trevor Chalobah, who trades some nice passes, and Chelsea break through the lines over on the left hand side now with Neto, but he's slowed down by Munoz, and Chelsea keep possession by retreating into their own half. They go from left to right this time, and it's Reece James who knocks it into Esteval, but again strong challenge from Crystal Palace. But that long clearance will go all the way through to Trevor Chalobah, just in front of his own penalty area. Pedro Neto's playing on this left-hand side and got themselves in a bit of trouble here. And John Vila Mateta's into the box one-on-one with the keeper, and it's a great save with the leg by Robert Sanchez. And that's a glorious opportunity. It was Badiashile caught in possession by Ismail Assar, and the ball fell lovely for Jean-Philippe Mateta. He struck it right-footed down to the keeper's right, and Sanchez able to kick it away on the one-on-one. Mateta in the end striking the ball into the floor and down the centre of the goal. And you thought that was going to be Premier League goal number 9 for the French striker. A great save from Robert Sanchez. Also 8 clean sheets in the Premier League this season for the Spanish keeper. And after 8 minutes, it's still 0-0. That's a glorious opportunity for the home team. So it'll be a long throw on this near side. In it comes, and its players have gone down from both sides. But we decide to play on, and Munoz finds Chris Richards, who's on this right-hand side after that long throw, and Cucurella wins the throw-in off of the Colombian right-sided player. So we see the throw-in come in. It was Lerma that hit the deck with a challenge from Cucurella. Not a lot in that for me, and we are, after a VAR check, ready to carry on. It's going to be a throw-in on this left-hand side. Cucurella with the long sleeve and gloves throws it in short, and it's cleared up towards João Pedro, but Wharton will win the play back for Crystal Palace. Tries to thread a lovely ball through to Mateta. It's a good sliding tackle in there from Caicedo. Now Chelsea would come away. Reece James into the other half, plays the ball into the channel towards João Pedro. He does get there, but it's a great tackle from Lacroix, and then hacked away by Mitchell. Santos' header goes out of play. That'll be a throw-in on the left-hand side for the home team. Fast pace to this game. Palace get it underway straight away. Canvo goes long up towards Mateta, but Badiashile manages to clear it up into the air and flicked on by Cucurella into the path of João Pedro. Good tackle from Munoz again on Cucurella, and that'll be a throw-in on the left-hand side. Munoz just limps away from that tackle. Hasn't featured for Crystal Palace since that 1-0 win against Burnley. He got the winner on the 3rd of December. I'll be delighted to have him back. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists from that right wing-back position. Ball down the line to Pedro Neto, and Canvo comes across and takes it off him, and that'll be a corner again to Chelsea on this near side. 10 minutes gone in South London. Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 0. Liam Rosenior's second Premier League game in charge. Won his first one last week in that 2-0 victory against Brentford at home. Back-to-back London derbies for Liam Rosenior. Reece James to deliver the ball again towards the near post. Headed away by Mateta, but behind for another corner on the same side. It'll be Reece James once more to deliver. Plenty of players in around the 6-yard area once more. Just a little bit of a delay getting the ball back from the crowd. Ismail Assar was in there helping out with Jean-Philippe Mateta to get that ball away. Ismail Assar obviously back from African Cup of Nations duty as a winner with Senegal. Right, we're finally ready for this corner once more, and it's going to be Reece James again from this near side, clips it into the near post again, headed up in the air by Munoz, flicked away by Brennan Johnson, and Crystal Palace can clear the lines. Picked up by Caicedo, who finds Enzo on the right hand side. He tries to hook a ball into the box first time. Badiashile gets the first contact, but it will go back out of the box for Cucurella, then lobs it in towards the penalty spot. Bouncing around in the box from both sets of players. Lacroix goes to the floor, but nothing given. Chelsea still in possession on the left-hand side. Ball slid down the line to Cucurella, who gets to the byline, crosses the ball in deep towards the back post. Headed away, but only as far as Caicedo. Caicedo finds the young Estevao, who gives it back to his midfielder in support. Goes from right to left for Chelsea, and it's Reece James then switches it back to Estevao on the right-hand side. Cuts in on his left foot and drifts across the pitch before just passing back to Trevor Chalobah. Good build-up play from Chelsea. Reece James decides to put the ball into the box towards Cucurella. Goes to ground, nothing given. And that'll run through to Pedro Neto. Twists away from Daniel Munoz. Finds Cucurella once more by the byline. He crosses it in. Across the box is going to fall for Enzo Fernandez, whose shot goes over the bar on the half volley. The Argentine runs straight to the match official, pointing at an arm as the ball came across. It was only Fernandez appealing for the handball. Doesn't look like anything in that to me. The shot did take a bit of a deflection, so it should have been a corner, but it's a goal kick that has been given. Enzo in good scoring form in the Premier League. 6 goals this season for the Argentine. So scored in those back-to-back games with Bournemouth and City, that equaliser in the Man City game, which was Callum McFarlane's first of 2 games in charge since the sacking of Enzo Maresca. Long ball from Crystal Palace. That's going to roll all the way through for a throw in to Chelsea on the right-hand side. So Reece James right down by his own corner flag as Nottingham Forest have taken the lead away at Brentford in the Premier League this afternoon. Goal from Igor Jesus. Obviously Forest looking to respond after West Ham's crucial victory yesterday against Sunderland. And Crystal Palace could take him up to 12 and above bitter rivals Brighton. Chelsea in possession with Cucurella on halfway, who plays the ball down the line towards Neto, but Munoz gets across and knocks it back to his keeper. And Henderson right footer can send it up away and over the halfway line. A good out of play for a throw in on the left hand side. 15 minutes gone at Selhurst Park, still goalless here in this London derby. Oliver Glasner out on his technical area, trying to get some instructions across to his side. Palace with the best opportunity of the match so far, that Jean-Philippe Mateta one-on-one chance, but forced a good save from Robert Sanchez. Enzo did fire over as well just a minute ago for Chelsea. So one chance each for both teams. Chelsea find themselves in possession with Trevor Chalobah just in front of his own penalty area. He plays it up to Reece James on the right-hand side. James under pressure from Johnson just turns around and then finds Caicedo in the middle of the park, who plays a lovely ball out to Estevao on the right-hand side. Estevao's going to run at Tyreek Mitchell, drifts in field onto his left foot and plays a ball over to Pedro Neto on the corner on the other side of the box. Ball in from him and it's cleared away by Palace, bouncing around in the box for Caicedo, who shoots and cuts across it. It's a couple of yards wide from the left-hand post in the end. But as he ran on and hit that, it was a good strike. Just didn't quite fall for him. And that shot from distance, wide in the end from the Ecuadorian. 3 goals for Caicedo in the Premier League. Scored the winner in the Champions League in the week in that 1-0 victory with Paphos. Chelsea will be back in European action on Wednesday. The last round of the Champions League games could be vital for Chelsea as well, who are looking to try and get into those 8 playoff positions to go straight through to the last 16. So, free kick to Crystal Palace. Badiashile just a little bit too aggressive on the press, and Palace back underway with Lacroix midway inside his own half. He's going to go long and centre up towards Mateta, but cleared away by Chalobah, picked up by Wharton, who finds Mateta and then Munoz on the right hand side. First time delivery from Munoz is a really good one, and it's cleared behind by Santos with Brennan Johnson waiting just behind him. That'll be a corner on the far side for the home team. Palace really have missed Daniel Munoz. They'll be delighted to have him back. The Colombian. So lots of players inside the 6-yard box from both sides. Chelsea have conceded 7 headed goals already this season, the 4th most in the Premier League. So Palace will be looking to try and surround Robert Sanchez. It's going to be delivered in. It's driven towards the back post where Lerma was getting up, and it's over the bar. And that'll be a goal kick. Jefferson Lerma felt that the last touch was of Caicedo. In fact, the last touch was actually off João Pedro, so should have been another corner there, but nothing given. Chelsea take the goal kick short, and then Robert Sanchez on the second attempt plays it long towards Neto, but headed away by Canvo, but only into midfield, where João Pedro picks up in the centre circle. Good tackle from Adam Wharton. Palace come away with it, but sloppy pass from Lerma. Both sides trading possession, as Lerma then intercepts to make up for his mistake, and the ball is back with Lacroix on the edge of his area. Lacroix, the Frenchman who started every Premier League game for Crystal Palace this season, incredibly important to that back line. Very pacey centre-back, the 25-year-old Frenchman. He's got young Canvo next to him, who he finds. Nice footwork from Canvo and Munoz to get it up the line, but it's then stolen away by Chelsea on halfway, and Pedro Neto will break towards the box. Wharton's back with a great tackle to cover for Canvo, who had gone forward. And the English midfielder then breaks away and finds AFCON winner Sarr. Sarr trades it back to Wharton, who's caught late by Caicedo. That's a yellow card for the Ecuadorian. The 6th of the season. Has also picked up 1 red card this year. Yeah, Wharton just moved the ball on to the left-hand side, and in a bid to try and block it, Caicedo's stood on Adam Wharton's foot. Perhaps a little bit soft, but here's a 6th yellow card for the Ecuadorian. 20 minutes gone, still goalless in the Premier League. between Crystal Palace and Chelsea. Liam Rosenior just out in his technical area, trying to get some information across to the far side where the ball is, and it's stolen away by Badiashile, and it will be picked up by Cucurella on halfway, then finds Andre Santos. They switch it to the right for Reece James, who goes forward to Enzo Fernandez. Under pressure, so the Argentine turns around and Chelsea will work it back to their defence, and it's now all the way back to Robert Sanchez, who plays into Andre Santos, who took a bit of a risk with Mateta, but it's paid off, and he finds João Pedro. Chelsea try and break. Cucurella's ball across the pitch is intercepted by Tyreek Mitchell, and the English left back under a little bit of pressure just turns around and finds Dean Henderson. So Henderson looks like to be the new club captain for Crystal Palace after the loss of Mark Gahey. There's been a goal at St James's Park, and it's Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 1. Buendia for the away side. Lacroix with the ball for Crystal Palace. Goes back to Adam Wharton, and Palace just trying to keep a little bit of possession in their own half. Lerma tries to slip a ball out left to Mitchell, and there's too much on it from Jefferson Lerma. Hasn't had a lot of minutes for Crystal Palace this season. It's only his 9th Premier League start this season. Been here since 2022 after signing from Bournemouth, so plenty of experience in this league, but a sloppy pass from him gives Chelsea possession back, and the ball is with Trevor Chalobah. It goes out to Reece James on the right hand side. Down the line for Estevao. He's been kept quiet by Mitchell so far, the young Brazilian. Mitchell manages to smuggle the ball away, and that'll be a throw in for Crystal Palace on the left hand side. Well appreciated by Oliver Glasner there. He gets a high five from his manager. Adam Wharton in midfield flicks it over to Mitchell on the left hand side. Under pressure from Fernandez, so drifts back into the centre. Then Wharton then switches it from left to right towards Munoz. Good header by Cucurella, but his second ball's picked up by Sarr, and then Canvo just inside the Chelsea half. Munoz goes down the line for Ismail Assar. Tries to give a 1-2, but good defensive shape from Chelsea. Forces the ball back to young JD Canvo. Happy to bring the ball forward, and then finds Munoz on the right hand side. Slides it down the line for Sarr. 2 players around him, so goes back to Munoz in support, and then back once more to Canvo. Wharton then sends a direct ball to Sarr, and Crystal Palace just trading really short passes before Wharton then swings the ball in towards the box, and it's just too strong for Tyreek Mitchell coming in at the back post. The England midfielder just shakes his head and sticks a hand up in apology. A good ball in from Adam Wharton. Still no Premier League goal for the English midfielder. He's picked up 2 assists this season. One of those assists in the last win that Crystal Palace had on the 7th of December in the Premier League. Chelsea get themselves away, and it's Pedro Neto that bring it over halfway. Sprinting down the left, he's going to get into a foot race with Lacroix. Lacroix will win that one easily and shepherd the ball out of play. Lacroix looks to the home fans behind the goal for a little bit of support. Raises his arms to them, and a big roar goes up from the home support. Good defending from the Frenchman. So important to the way that Oliver Glasner wants to play Maxime Lacroix. .25 now, Maxime Lacroix has never actually picked up any French youth caps other than under 17s. But for me, can't be far off a full call-up soon, surely. Good pressure from the Crystal Palace midfield, and Enzo Fernandez has to knock it off of Brennan Johnson for a throw-in to Chelsea on the right-hand side, inside their own half. Jefferson Lerma just trying to follow Enzo Fernandez everywhere they go. The battle of the number 8s this afternoon, and the referee just stepping in to have a word between the two of them. Reece James throws the ball back to Chalobah, just takes one touch and then knocks it back to Robert Sanchez. His orange gloves flapping around as he knocks the ball onto the left-hand side for Badiashile. Badiashile back to Sanchez, and then Sanchez sends it long. That's going to take 3 bounces all the way through to Dean Henderson, who just picks it up and rolls it straight out to the yellow boots of JD Canvo. Canvo just happy to turn around and give it to his more experienced partners in Lacroix and then Richards. Richards back to Lacroix. It's now worked over to this right-hand side with Canvo. Canvo finds Adam Wharton, who plays a direct ball towards Mateta, but cut out by Santos, who then sends the ball forward to João Pedro on his own. Twists away from Lacroix and finds Estevan on the left-hand side, who nutmegs Richards. Tries to put a ball across. It's blocked away in the end and then hooked away further up towards Sarr on halfway, who put Badiashile under pressure. Good counter-attacking play from the home team. They win themselves a throw-in midway inside Chelsea's half on the left-hand side. Ismail Assau came back as an African Nations Cup champion with Senegal. Did play in the final, came off the bench in that chaotic final, if you did see it, before his side won in extra time for their second national trophy. Hasn't actually got a goal himself for Crystal Palace since September, so we're looking to try and get back in this side with a good run of games and goal involvements. Long throw from Richards towards the corner of the box. It's flicked on by a Crystal Palace head, and then Sarr himself got in front of Sanchez, turned it towards goal, but it has gone wide. Chelsea not dealing with that long throw. In fact, the last touch was off Reece James as the throw came in. Sarr got himself away from Cucurella, did turn it towards goal, but wide in the end from the Senegalese international. A couple of yards wide in the end. Kick taken short by Chelsea, and Lerma steals it off of Enzo Fernandez. A good battle between those two at the moment. Lerma turns around and gives it to Lacroix just inside his own half. Lacroix under no pressure finds Canvo, and they trade passes once more, and this time Palace go from right to left. Richards turns around and gives it to his keeper and captain, Dean Henderson, who has picked up a few caps for England. Has played 4 times, and he'll be looking to get himself on the plane for the World Cup in Thomas Tuchel's squad. I'm sure he is one of those names on that list. Richard sends the ball forward. It's returned by Chelsea, and that will roll out of play for a throw-in to the home team just inside the corner flag. In fact, there's an offside flag gone up, so Henderson will come out and kick the ball long. Returned by Chelsea, and it's found by Lacroix, who then goes back to his keeper, and they'll work from right to left. Ball to Mitchell. He has to control it well and then sends it long, headed away by Badiashile. Ball bouncing around in midfield, and it's Santos who then plays it back to Chalobah, who just heads it back to Robert Sanchez to get himself a little bit of control. Sanchez takes a couple of touches and finds Andre Santos, and his ball to Caicedo is not a good one. And the Palace steal it high up the pitch. Wharton finds Brennan Johnson. He plays it out to the left and asking a lot of Tyreek Mitchell, but Mitchell does get there. Takes the touch and sends the ball in first time towards Mateta, who heads it towards goal. Slides off his head and goes across the face, and Cucurella will bring it away. Cucurella plays it, long ball up the line for Neto, but it's going to slice off his foot and be a throw in to the home team. Canvo takes that quickly back to Maxime Lacroix. So we did mention that Palace have got this terrible record against Chelsea in the Premier League, 16 games without a win. But Oliver Glasner will be happy with how his side have started, and Reece James has put keeper Sanchez under a bit of pressure, but Sanchez does manage to get it away, and Chelsea will keep possession before Wharton steps in and steals it off of Fernandes, plays it down towards Johnson on the left-hand side, but too strong for the Welsh winger. Signed from Tottenham in this transfer window, hasn't been able to get on the ball much in this game. Cutting a bit of a frustrated figure on that left-hand side. Ball goes away for a goal kick to Chelsea. 31 minutes gone, still goalless. Dean Henderson not made a save yet, but Chelsea have had a couple of attempts go wide. That was a good save from Robert Sanchez from Mateta in the 8th minute. But other than that, a good tactical battle between Glasner and Rosenior currently. Lacroix has it on halfway. He goes left to Chris Richards. The American just rolls the ball to Adam Wharton, who clips it into space and finds Mateta, who then plays it to Ismail Assar, who gets away from Caicedo and is brought down. And Caicedo, who's already had a yellow card, could probably count himself a little bit lucky there. Lacroix comes sprinting up to the referee to have a conversation, because Sarr was about to break away into space. The referee just deems that to be a foul. So it will be a free kick to the home side. The patience needed from Crystal Palace as they do clip the ball in with Johnson. Headed it back in and headed away in the end. Canvo would try and keep the ball alive on the left-hand side. Esteval and Fernandes battling away, and then Canvo plays the ball back and he's put his side in trouble here. Esteval's through one-on-one, breaking in towards the penalty box. The young Brazilian plays it through and scores! Chelsea take the lead at Selhurst Park, and it's the youngster, the Brazilian winger Esteval, with his second Premier League goal of the season. Poor pass in an attacking position from the young JD Canvo, and he's making his third Premier League start for Palace this afternoon. He was up for the free kick and he's played it back, and he's ended up playing Esteval through as a poor back pass in the end. And credit to the young Brazilian, he's had a lot of time to travel. He's managed to shrug off Tyreek Mitchell and he's thundered it past Dean Henderson. Chelsea find themselves in the lead at Selhurst Park, potentially against the run of play. But in the 35th minute, it's that second Premier League goal for Esteval. It's his first start under Liam Rosenior. Didn't play from the start against Brentford. And that's his second Premier League goal after scoring earlier in the season in that 2-1 home victory against Liverpool. A little bit shell-shocked. Crystal Palace take the kick off and send the ball forward high and long towards Mateta. It's headed away, but will be bounced back by Wharton. Chelsea can't get it clear at the moment, but Mateta's flick on will roll through to Robert Sanchez. Just takes his time, places his foot on the ball, and when under pressure, then goes and picks it up. That goal coming from Crystal Palace's own free kick after a few of the Crystal Palace players were adamant that Darren England should have gone to his pocket for a red card for Caicedo. But nothing given. Chelsea play the ball into the channel. João Pedro pick it up on the right hand side of the box. He finds Esteval, the goal scorer, in support. Esteval just gives it back to his captain Reece James, and then Andre Santos and Chelsea work it back into their own half. Crystal Palace with every outfield player behind the ball. Chalobah under no rush sends it back to Sanchez, who's just outside his own area. He'll clip it back to Chalobah and then into Reece James. Across to Andre Santos, who's lived dangerously in that midfield a couple of times. Ball across to Badiashile. He sends that up for Neto to run onto, but it's going to be too strong, and that'll bounce through to Dean Henderson. Gets us back underway straight away by just rolling the ball out in front of him to Maxime Lacroix. Palace have on the left-hand side, clip forward towards Mateta, who tries to flick it on towards Saab. It doesn't quite fall for him, but Wharton will be able to get the ball out towards Munoz on the right-hand side. He goes sliding into a tackle with Cucurella. And there'll be a throw-in for the Chelsea left-back. His throw up the line towards Neto is hooked away by Palace, and Wharton just gets some control by returning it to the American Chris Richards. Richards back over to Canvo, the youngster who made that mistake for the Chelsea goal. Ball clipped forward up towards Mateta, who flicks it on for Sarr to try and run onto, but Cucurella, right-footed, smashes it away, and it's picked up by Caicedo, who threads the ball through towards João Pedro, and it's a good sliding recovery tackle from Lacroix. Being able to keep João Pedro quiet so far. João Pedro did get his 7th Premier League goal of the season in that last Premier League game against Brentford. Been quiet so far this afternoon. Mateta brings it down on his chest and finds Johnson, who hooks it over his shoulder towards Munoz on the right-hand side. He battles with Cucurella as a judge to have fouled the Spanish fullback. The Colombian helps him back to his feet. Cucurella did get there first and then felt the nudge of Daniel Munoz and went to ground. So 38 minutes gone at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 0. Chelsea won 3 games in the Premier League at 2 o'clock this afternoon. All 1-0 to the away sides currently. So Chelsea know that a win in the short term would put them up above Liverpool into 4th. So Manchester United could improve their position later on in the 4:30 game away at the Emirates against Arsenal. Chalobah goes over to Sanchez, who then knocks it on to Badiashile, and Badiashile sends it high and long towards Pedro Neto to chase. It bounced a couple of times, and Neto manages to keep it in by the byline. Canvo tracks him across and knocks the ball out of play for a throw-in. The dangerous position on the left-hand side for Chelsea. Not really a side that's utilised the long throw. Chelsea, so Cucurella with ball in hand looks for options that are short, and Pedro Neto is one of them. Ends up going to Caicedo in the end, who wriggles away from Adam Wharton and plays it from left to right over towards Esteval, but Mitchell gets ahead and smashes it long for Sarr to chase. Hooked away by Badiashile up to halfway, but Munoz heads it back towards Sarr, but it's a sloppy pass and Chelsea retain possession. Flick from João Pedro in towards Fernandez, but read by Chris Richards, and there's a turnover in possession once more. Adam Wharton takes the ball on and finds Munoz on the right hand side. Back into Wharton about 40 yards from goal. He goes from right to left over to Chris Richards. Richards takes a couple of touches and breaks in towards the penalty area before drifting inside. Knocks the ball over to Munoz once more. Munoz back to Wharton in the centre of the pitch. Chelsea dropping deeper and deeper. Lacroix has it just outside the centre circle. Threads the ball down to Munoz on the corner of the box. Goes back into Wharton again, who returns it out further to Sarr, then slips it down the line for Munoz, who sends it in first time, hit up in the air by Badiashile, and then nodded away by Neto. Only as far as Canvo. Canvo back to Sarr. Slow build up now from Crystal Palace. It's back with Wharton, who threads the ball in towards the bottom for Sarr, plays it across towards Mateta. It's cleared away by the Chelsea defence, and Chelsea will break once more. Caicedo brings it over halfway on the left-hand side. Chops back in the end and finds Andre Santos in the centre circle. Chelsea move it from left to right for Reece James. Reece James turns around and gives it to Chalobah. Only 4 minutes till half-time. Chelsea with the lead, just trying to keep possession. Santos plays it into Enzo Fernandez, who's under pressure from Chris Richards, but does really well to move it to Santos, who then switches play, but is cut out by Munoz. Plays it into Adam Wharton in the centre circle, who looks to drift forward as he always does. Finds Brennan Johnson, who plays the ball down the line for Sarr again. He gets to the byline, plays it in the box along the floor, hacked away by Badiashile once more. Good pressure on that right-hand side from Crystal Palace in the form of Ismaila Sarr. Ball over on the left-hand side this time, just in front of the dugouts for Mitchell. Mitchell back to Lacroix. Palace inside their own half at the moment. It's back to Canvo on this right-hand side. Canvo was that signing from Toulouse in the summer. French 121 international will be so disappointed when he sees that back pass back again. Finds Wharton, who plays it long towards Brennan Johnson, who brings it down, then plays in Mitchell on the left-hand side by the corner of the box. Mitchell has to go back to Richards in support, who shifts it out of his right foot and then tries to swing a ball in. It's headed away by Enzo Fernandez, and that's set Esteval free once more on the right-hand side. It's 2-on-3 here. Esteval breaks into the box on the corner, plays it across the goal towards João Pedro, and it's just in front of the Brazilian forward. And almost a carbon copy from the break that led to the goal. Esteval managed to get in front of Tyree Mitchell again, and this time his right-footed strike across the box was wide of the post and too far ahead of João Pedro. So very nearly doubling the lead. Palace break this time. It's Sarr driving through. He finds Mitchell on the left-hand side, who tries to play a cross in. It's blocked, but it does end up coming to Sarr. He finds Brendan Johnson on the edge, and good foot in from Andre Santos, and he takes the contact to win his side a free kick on the edge of the box. Just takes the sting out of the game. Oliver Glasner, arms folded, just walking around his technical area. Will be disappointed with the scoreline, but will be encouraged by how his side have played. They'll be ruining that missed chance from Mateta early on. 44 minutes gone here, and it is the away side that find themselves in the lead. 18-year-old Brazilian wonder kid Esteval with his second goal of the season. Ball played long by Sanchez, headed out by Richards, and it'll be a throw-in for Chelsea midway inside the Crystal Palace half, over on the far side. Reece James just takes his time, bounces the ball a couple of times and ekes forward. As Chelsea will look to get themselves into half-time in front. Throw down the line, cleared away by Lacroix, flicked on by Johnson. Mateta can't get it, so Chelsea will keep possession inside the Crystal Palace half. Cucurella drifts forward on the left-hand side. Ends up going back to Chalobah in the centre circle. Fourth official raises the board, and there'll be 2 minutes added on at the end of the first half here at Selhurst Park. Sanchez plays the ball into midfield, and good footwork from Pedro Neto to keep possession. Goes back to Badiashile. Turns around and gives it back to the Spanish keeper once more. Takes one touch with his left foot and then sends it forward over halfway towards João Pedro, but Palace win the header and Munoz can flick it forward. Finds Sarr, brings it down on his chest. Gets away from Badiashile, but the offside flag is up. Senegalese winger offside when he came to collect the ball. So Robert Sanchez will come 20 yards out of his box to take this kick. In no hurry, the Spanish keeper places the ball down, and it will be a long kick with his right foot over towards the left hand side. Goes over the head of both Munoz and Neto and out of play for a defensive throw in. 1 minute until half time. Munoz throws it back to Canvo. Canvo, under pressure from Pedro Neto, managed to get away from the Portuguese winger, and then it's helped out by Lacroix. He sends it long, but Badiashile returns it. Canvo's let that bounce, looking for it to go out of play. It's going to hold up on the pitch. The young defender ends up giving it away to Pedro Neto on the left-hand side. Neto's touch is weak, and that will go out of play again for the throw-in to Crystal Palace as we tick towards half-time. João Pedro claiming he was fouled by Lacroix, dropping to the floor, but Darren England says no foul. Crystal Palace this time tries to send it long up towards halfway. Battle between Lerma and Fernandez continues, and Darren England will step in and call that a foul as Lerma then gets up and gives Fernandez a bit of a shove. Darren England decides that is enough for the first half and calls half-time, steps in between the two number 8s and encourages them to walk off the pitch. Half-time here at Selhurst Park, and it's Chelsea that will go in 1-0 up in an intriguing game between two sides. Mateta with a golden opportunity when he was through one-on-one after a defensive mistake from Badiashile in the 8th minute. Good save by Robert Sanchez, and then there was a defensive mistake on the other side which allowed youngster Esteval to break from halfway through one-on-one, and he managed to drift across the pitch and buried his strike left-footed past Dean Henderson. So half-time at Selhurst Park, and it is that Esteval goal that is the difference. It's Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 1. See you for the second half. We're back underway with the home side shooting from right to left, and the ball clipped forward straight away up towards Mateta, but cleared away by the Chelsea back line. Only as far as Mitchell on this left hand side, who manages to keep it in and hook it up the line towards Johnson. Headed away by Chalobah, returned by João Pedro, and it will be Reece James, the Chelsea captain, on the right hand side, who picks the ball up. He sends it long for João Pedro to chase. He's going to have a wrestle with Lacroix, and it's the French centre-back who gets the decision from the referee. So free kick to Crystal Palace just in front. Ball out to Canvo, who unfortunately made that mistake that led to the Chelsea goal, and his ball's not a good one again. It's picked off by Caicedo, who finds Esteval just in front of the Crystal Palace area. Over to the left-hand side where Cucurella finds the ball. He clips it in towards the back post. Headed back by Esteval across the goal. It's half cleared by Palace. Picked up by Caicedo. It goes out to Reece James on the right-hand side. Shifts it out of his feet. Looks to cross the ball from the corner of the box in towards Cucurella, and it's flicked behind by Daniel Munoz, but it's actually been given as a goal kick for Crystal Palace, much to the dismay of both Pedro Neto and Cucurella on that far side. Clear mistake by the match official Darren England. fact, he's obviously just been given a nudge by the fourth official, and we will have a corner. It was a glaring error from Darren England. So corner on the far side for Chelsea. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger from captain Reece James. Chelsea players surrounding Dean Henderson once more as the ball comes in towards the near post. Punched away by Henderson to the edge of the area, trying to be returned by Esteval, but good clearing header by Lerma. Gets Crystal Palace up the pitch. Mateta battles for it on the right-hand side and finds Ismail Assar, who hits it up the line towards Brennan Johnson, but good defending by Trevor Chalobah. Just takes it down on his chest and then tries to play it up the line, but stolen away by Adam Wharton, who then finds Lerma on the centre circle. He plays it out left to Tyrone Mitchell. Knocks it out of his feet and tries to go round Caicedo, who then puts the ball into touch, and there'll be a throw-in midway through the Crystal Palace attacking half. Opportunity for Chris Richards, the American, with that long throw, try and get the ball into the box from this angle. Caicedo, who was booked in the first half and could maybe count himself a little bit lucky and also pick up a second one, which ended up in resulting the Crystal Palace free kick, which led to the Chelsea break for the goal. Richard comes forward and throws it in, and it's headed away by Reece James. Crystal Palace will retain possession on halfway, and it's Richards himself who then knocks it back to Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson halfway inside his own half sends the ball long up towards Lacroix, who's still up in the attacking third. Chelsea managed to thump it long, and it will take a bounce through to Dean Henderson in his own area this time, and he just takes it and bowls it out left-handed to Canvo. Canvo works the ball from right to left, and it will be at the feet of Chris Richards, and then back to Dean Henderson. All in orange this afternoon, the Crystal Palace captain, taking over the mantle from Mark Gahey, who's departed for Manchester City. Made his Premier League debut for Man City yesterday in their 2-0 win at Wolves. Ball clipped forward up towards Mateta. Brings it down on the corner of the box, but Chalobah just sticks to him like glue and steals the ball away, and then finds the feet of João Pedro. Pedro finds Esteval on the right hand side and then clips it back over for João Pedro, who breaks into the area on the right hand side, cuts back inside on his left foot, strikes towards goal and buries it in the back of the net. And Chelsea take no time in this second half to double their lead. It's another Brazilian to make it 2-0, and it's João Pedro's 8th goal of the season in the league since signing from Crystal Palace's bitter rivals Brighton in the summer. Lovely interlink between himself and Esteval. Delightful chip from the young Brazilian, who adds an assist to his goal already this afternoon. And the away side find themselves 2 goals to the good. Delightful ball from Esteval. It will be checked by VAR, but to the naked eye it looks like it will be absolutely fine. Great footwork from João Pedro to go inside Adam Wharton and then thundered it from 6 yards with his left foot past Dean Henderson. And you've got to be thinking that Crystal Palace's run without a win is going to continue unless something can happen dramatically in this second half. Henderson did manage to get his legs to the strike, but could only bounce it into the roof of the net. João Pedro in the goals. Back-to-back games now for him. Scoring against Brentford in the Premier League and now Crystal Palace. Both with his left foot. Palace get us back underway. Ball flicked on by Johnson towards Mateta, but easily mopped up by Reece James and sends it back to his keeper Sanchez, all in green this afternoon, who plays it out back to the right back, who fires it into the feet of Enzo Fernandez, who finds Esteval in an attacking position on the right hand side. He'll run at Chris Richards, and Richards does well to steal the ball off of the Brazilian. Palace will come away. Good footwork from Adam Wharton, then gets himself into the centre circle. Wharton drives forward and finds Munoz on the right hand side. Munoz tries to play it back to the English midfield, but will win himself a throw-in on the right-hand side. Esteval back to his feet after going to ground in that Chris Richards tackle. If Palace are going to get anything out of this side, you feel that out of this game, you feel they're going to need to get something pretty soon. 52 minutes on the clock and 2 goals down here at home in this awful run of form. Richards comes forward and throws it in towards Munoz, but it's headed away. Only back out to the American, who threads the ball through to Lerma, who nicks it away from the man, but it will go out of play for a goal kick. And in fact, Darren England has stopped the players. There is a head injury. Trevor Chalobah sat up in the penalty box rubbing his head at the moment after a clash of heads from the long throw with Lacroix. So Palace without that Premier League win since the 7th of December. That 2-1 away win at Fulham, and that run looks to continue. Haven't won in all competitions either since the middle of December. They did get a 3-0 win away at Shelbourne in the Conference League. But it's 7 Premier League games without a win, and it's looking like that could be 8. Unless Oliver Glasner's side can turn this around dramatically in the second half. So we're going to get back underway with a uncontested drop ball right down by the corner flag in an attacking position for Crystal Palace. Ball is back in play, and it's Munoz who delivers it back to Adam Wharton, who sends it back into the box left-footed, flicked on by Badiashile, and it'll be behind for a corner on this near side to the home team. The away fans trying to make themselves heard, but it's the Crystal Palace fans, despite being 2-0 down, raising the voice. It's Brennan Johnson who's come over to this near side to deliver the corner. It'll be a right-footed in-swinger. 3 Crystal Palace players surrounding Robert Sanchez. Ball comes in towards the back post. Sanchez comes a long way and claims it really well. Then almost runs out of the penalty area, but is been adjudged to have been pushed by Jefferson Lerma. So it won't be a handball. Sanchez has also gone down holding his left ankle in a bit of a tangle with the Colombian Lerma. So Sanchez claimed the ball on the penalty spot, and his momentum took him towards the edge of the box, and he was sprinting and wasn't slowing down, then changed his mind about throwing it, slammed the brakes on, nearly ran out of the box himself, and then because he stopped, Jefferson Lerma, who was sprinting back to get into position, has ended up tangling legs with Robert Sanchez and pushing him out of the box. Sanchez with plenty of the white line of the penalty box all over the side of his face. He's now back on his feet, and he'll send that long up towards Pedro Neto on the left hand side, headed away by Canvo up to halfway, and a neat play from Sarr releases Munoz on the left hand side. Cucurella comes across and clips the ball off of Munoz, and that'll be a throw in to Chelsea just inside their own half. 55 minutes gone, and it's the away side that are 2 goals up here in South London. And the other games in the 2 o'clock games are still 1-0 to the away sides. Aston Villa 1-0 up at Newcastle. And Nottingham Forest down in 17th place, currently responding to that West Ham victory yesterday. 1-0 up at Brentford. Esteval on the right hand side picks it up and finds Enzo Fernandez in the central position. He threads it out right to Reece James, who finds Esteval in a good position. He strikes it towards goal, and it's a good save by Dean Henderson. Clawed it away with his right hand, and then on the rebound managed to pick it up. Good strike from the edge of the area from the Brazilian winger again. Confidence flowing through the young man. He's got 6 goals for Chelsea since his summer signing. Only 2 in the Premier League. But with a goal and assist this afternoon, he's been really strutting his stuff. Cut back in on his left foot from the right-hand side. Curled it towards that far post. Good save by Dean Henderson, and Cucurella on the follow-up could only scuff it back into the hands of the Palace keeper and captain. Ball given away by Santos on the far side, but stolen back by Badiashile. He finds Cucurella, plays it down the line to second goal scorer João Pedro. He gives it away to Lerma. Palace back in possession. Chris Richards with the ball at his feet goes from left to right to Lacroix, then plays it to Daniel Munoz, who flicks it up the line towards Senegalese Ismail Assar. That's going to go out of play for throwing on the left hand side, and Mark Cucurella is in absolutely no hurry to go and collect the ball off of the cone nearest to him. Cucurella with the long sleeves and gloves throws it down the line and gets the ball back, and then plays it inside to Caicedo, who spreads it from left to right. And now Chelsea will break away with Esteval once more, getting towards the corner of the box. Finds Reece James outside of him, clips it in first time, beats the man, it falls to João Pedro, strikes it towards goal. It's blocked by Canvo with the chest. Dean Henderson made a real hash of that. Appeals for handball from the Brazilian striker, but nothing given. Caicedo flicks it in towards Enzo Fernandez, but that will fall in the hands of England's Dean Henderson. Play looks like it's going to continue. There will be a VAR check for that. Dean Henderson really missed it. João Pedro turned it towards goal. It was blocked by Canvo, and his arm was down by his side, so nothing given by the video official, and we will play on. Long ball forward is returned by Chelsea, but Jefferson Lerma will pick it up inside his own half and finds Mitchell on the left hand side. Mitchell doesn't want to fight Esteval, so turns around and gives it to Chris Richards, and it then ends up back at the feet of the left winger Tyreek Mitchell. In fact, the play has now been stopped by Darren England, who's now signalled the TV screen a good 60 seconds after the initial call for the handball, and Darren England's been sent over to the screen by the VAR official. And we're going to see this again. So they're checking for a possible penalty in favour of Chelsea. So the ball was sent out to the right hand side, and Esteval then found Reece James. His ball came over towards João Pedro, who struck it towards goal. And it looks like to me his arm's down by his side and it's come off his hip. I'm surprised this has been looked at. It has hit his arm after in the build up towards the goal, but Canvo is a yard from it and got his arms in a natural position for me, down by his side. If this is given as a penalty, it could also be a potential red card, as the ball would have gone in the goal. Taking a pretty lengthy look at this, Darren England. All the players are now surrounding the screen, and you can see the body language of the officials. Darren England's had about 6 or 7 looks at this, and we still are seeing another replay. So young JD Canvo's arms are down by his side, and it has hit his arm, in fairness, below the sleeve line, which is the official ruling. And still the replay is being played over and over again, and Darren England hasn't made his mind up with this decision. Darren England now turns away from the screen, sends the players away, blows his whistle, makes the TV image and he will address the stadium to see what he's been given. So after review, the ball hits the hand. Really lengthy review, and this has taken a good 3 or 4 minutes. And the decision is a penalty. And young JD Canvo's afternoon gets worse. That fault for the first goal. And now gives away a penalty. And is there going to be anything further for the French centre-back here? It's a yellow card for Canvo. It's a strange decision for me. It's Canvo's first booking. For me, there's such a short distance between João Pedro and Canvo. His arm's down by his side. There's nothing he can do. He hasn't moved his arm towards the ball, but penalty is the decision that's been given. And it will be Enzo Fernandez to step up and look to score his 7th Premier League goal of the season. It'll be against Dean Henderson. He's had 2 penalties against him in the league so far. Hasn't saved either. So it'll be a right-footed penalty. Fernandez stands with his hands on his hips, waiting for the whistle. Forward he comes, strikes it right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner. And Chelsea have put this game to bed surely now. On the 63rd minute, Enzo Fernandez's 7th Premier League goal of the season from the penalty spot. His first goal since that equaliser at the death against Man City in that 1-1 draw in January. And Oliver Glasner's woes are going to continue in the Premier League. Enzo Fernandez in front of the away supports, takes the plaudits. Henderson didn't dive in the end, and it was just side-footed to the keeper's left by the Argentine. Called as you like, and Chelsea find themselves 3 goals to the good. I've got to feel a little bit for JD Canvo as we see the replay once more. It took Darren England a good 3 or 4 minutes to decide whether that was a clear and obvious error, but the penalty has been given and scored, and Chelsea will find themselves at the end of these 2 o'clock kickoffs in 4th place, surely, after going 3-0 up. A couple of changes for Crystal Palace after that 3rd goal. Borna Sosa is going to be coming on, and Yeremy Pino. We'll just get confirmation of who they will replace. It's looking like Mitchell is one of them. So yes, it's Pino for Mitchell and Sosa for Canvo. Chelsea back underway on the left-hand side, and João Pedro will steam forward in confidence, cuts back on his right foot and then uses Cucurella for support. Cucurella turns around and gives the ball back to Badiashile. Just got to feel this game could have had such a different feel to it if Mateta took that chance in the 8th minute, as he was played through one-on-one after Badiashile was caught in possession. Instead, it's Crystal Palace that find themselves 3 goals down. Ball played forward into the channel on the left-hand side. Wharton manages to intercept, and it's played down into the feet of Caicedo, and Wharton then slices him down. Clearly a frustrated tackle from the England midfielder, and it's a very easy yellow card. Adam Wharton's 4th for the season. Caicedo scythed down by former Blackburn man. Got to feel a little bit for Crystal Palace. It doesn't feel like a 3-0 game here, and obviously when they're on such a bad run in all competitions, No wins since the 11th of December. This will be the 11th game in a row without a victory, unless they can find 4 goals unanswered in this second half. 67 minutes on the clock. 3-0 to Chelsea away from home. Will be plenty added on after that lengthy VAR check. Ball at the feet of Fernandez, who finds João Pedro, and Chelsea just strutting their stuff, happy to keep possession on halfway. Then turn around and send the ball all the way back to Robert Sanchez, who finds Chalobah. His pass towards Reece James is short, but Reece James manages to step in and find Santos. Santos over to Cucurella, still inside the Chelsea half at the moment. Chalobah brings the ball out of defence, goes past Mateta and plays it up the line to Esteval. Esteval tackled by Souza, and then Pino manages to wrestle the ball off of James, but runs out of room. And that'll be a throw into Chelsea on the right-hand side. Reece James ready to take the throw, the Chelsea captain this afternoon. Had a bit of a torrid time with injuries, Reece James, recently, and did find himself coming off after that 2-1 defeat at Fulham on the 7th of January, but seems to be okay now. Will be an integral part of Liam Rosenior's plans as Chelsea come forward again on the left-hand side. Ball into the box is dealt with by Lacroix. And Lerma can hook it up the line right-footed. Badiashile gets in front of Brennan Johnson, but it's been given as a foul for handball. So Crystal Palace on the road in their next 2 fixtures in the Premier League, and they've got Nottingham Forest on Sunday. And if Forest can hold on to their victory this afternoon, there will only be 3 points between the two sides. They then go away to Brighton after that. Big rivalry between Crystal Palace and Brighton. Oliver Glasner will be hoping for an upturn in form before they go back into the European competition. Sanchez sends the ball long out towards the right-hand side. It's going to go over the head of Esteval and out for a throw into Crystal Palace on the halfway line. Richards just takes this one short back to Maxime Lacroix. He finds Chris Richards and they trade passes between each other, and Palace decides to go up the right-hand side this time, and it's Munoz who's slotted back into that right centre-back role for the last 20 minutes after Canvo made way. Just filling that gap since Mark Gahey obviously was been playing on the left-hand side, and Richards usually playing on the right-hand side. Richards has been over on the left today, and it was Canvo who was put in place on the right-hand side, and he really struggled, unfortunately, for the young Frenchman. I wonder whether Crystal Palace be going into the market for another defender if they can. Wharton brings the ball away and clips it forward left-footed up towards Mateta, but it's going to clear the Frenchman's head and roll through to Robert Sanchez. Chelsea will keep possession in their own half with Chalobah and Caicedo playing nice triangles with Santos. Santos threads it to Pedro Neto, who's drifted into the centre circle. And Chelsea will come away on the left-hand side until they turn around and just go back to keeper Sanchez. Gahey's obviously going to be a difficult man to replace for Crystal Palace. They knew he was going to potentially leave at the end of the season anyway, being out of contract. They decided to cash in. It's Chelsea readying potentially 3 changes here. Liam Rosenior. So next time the ball goes out of play, we might see some swaps. Sanchez finds Enzo Fernandez, but his pass is loose and it will be picked up by Pino. He goes past 2 or 3 players and good tackle from Reece James in the end. And Adam Wharton's gone sliding in. And Adam Wharton's afternoon could be done here. It's going to be a second yellow card for the Englishman. And Crystal Palace's afternoon goes from bad to worse. Influential midfielder Adam Wharton is sent off for a second yellow card in the space of 5 minutes. And Darren England sends him off. It's the first red card in the Premier League for Crystal Palace this season. For all players. Caicedo just got there before him, and it was a rash sliding tackle, if we're being honest, from a man who's already on a booking. And Oliver Glasner just turns around and asks Will Hughes to get himself ready. The Austrian manager seeing everything unravelling. So I think Crystal Palace are going to make their final changes when they're ready. Chelsea are now going to introduce 3 players here. So Gusto is going to come on for Pedro Neto. Wesley Fofana coming on for Moises Caicedo. And we're going to see young English winger Jamie Gittings replace Esteval, who the goal and an assist to get Chelsea underway. Has had an incredibly influential game for Liam Rosenior. Takes the plaudits as he comes off from the away support. Incredible performance from a man so young. Back underway then with Crystal Palace down to 10 players. Adam Wharton given his marching orders by Darren England. 2 bookings in the space of 5 minutes. And it's a even further uphill task now for the Eagles. Chelsea just taking their time and playing the ball around the back with Caicedo. So Fofana looks like he's gone into a right back position, and Reece James now into midfield with Gusto out on the right hand side. Reece James has given it away in the box to Brennan Johnson, who strikes it towards goal, and it's just wide. Sloppy defending from Chelsea, almost too casual. Reece James trying to find Fofana, it was cut out, and Brennan Johnson so nearly got himself off the mark for Crystal Palace, who are now going to make their final 2 subs. It's Will Hughes, and it's actually Brennan Johnson's last play, and Munoz is also coming off for Chadi Riyad. So Hughes coming on to shore up the midfield. Riyad giving Richard some instructions. Ball in from the corner towards Lequan. It's cleared away by Cucurella, but only as far as Pino, who deliver it back in towards the back post again. That goes out of play for a goal kick. Some wrestling going on from that corner. Big shirt pull on Mateta from Fernandez. And then did also look like it struck the arm of Trevor Chalobah. So whether VAR are going to have a look at this one as well. That one did seem to flick up off the leg of Chalobah from Lequan's flick on. Back underway, so nothing given. Fofana in this right back position finds Chalobah, then finds Andre Santos into Reece James in centre midfield now. Reece James so incredibly versatile in this Chelsea lineup. In the last couple of managers, Maresca obviously used him pretty much in central midfield this season. Callum McFarlane starting him at right back and then played midfield, and Now he's started at right back today and gone into central midfield again for Liam Rosenior. The Chelsea captain plays the ball through, but it's cut out by Crystal Palace, but Pino can't keep it in as he then thunders the ball into the advertising hoardings in frustration. And it's almost going to be a little bit of a training exercise now for the away side in this half. Santos picks the ball up in the centre circle, turns around and trades passes with Chalobah. No real pressure from Crystal Palace, so they then include Robert Sanchez, and it's all become very slow for both sides now. Sting really taken out of this game with that penalty to make it 3-0, and now the red card for Adam Wharton as well. Santos in midfield finds Gusto, and Gusto almost playing in that number 10 role. Finds Fofana on the right hand side, who goes into the Crystal Palace half. He's got Gittings outside of him, which he uses. Gittings gets past Souza, but then is held up by the Croatian international. Finds Gusto in support. Chelsea go inside to Santos, and Enzo Fernandez then trades a pass, and Gusto tries to slide it through to João Pedro. Palace try and bring it away with Mateta, but so many bodies around him. Chelsea win the ball back. Gusto on the right hand side looks to go forward. Finds Gittings, who just threads it back to his centre backs. Reece James in the centre circle, and Chelsea just playing lots of really short passes to keep the ball moving, but Crystal Palace just sat back in their shape. It's just as and when Chelsea want to come forward, which they do now. Cucurella high on the left-hand side. Finds Reece James again outside the centre circle. Good ball into Gusto, who is under pressure from Riyad. And Palace do steal the ball away, but again just surrounded by white shirts. Chelsea win it back. Back in the centre circle once more with the captain, who then passes it on to Fofana on the right-hand side. Fofana just leisurely plays it back into central midfield with Reece James. Chelsea happy just to keep possession. So it's going to be back-to-back Premier League victories for Liam Rosenior. 2-0 in that win at Brentford, against Brentford last weekend at home. And already 3 goals to the good here. Good start for the former Brighton player, which won't be overly well received in these parts. But including that win now with Paphos in the week, there'll be 3 victories in a row for Liam Rosenior's side. Chelsea do go away to Napoli in midweek on Wednesday. Still looking to try and get themselves automatic place in the last 16 of the Champions League. apologies there. A few technical difficulties meant that we dropped out for a moment there. Nothing missed. It's still 3-0 here at Selhurst Park to the away side. Crystal Palace down to 10 men as well. Adam Wharton sent off for those 2 bookings in the space of 5 minutes, getting his marching orders on the 72nd minute. But 82 minutes on the clock here, and both sides just playing themselves into the end of the game, really. Lacroix with the ball on the edge of the area finds Richards, who's now in that more familiar role on the right-hand side. Clips the ball in towards Mateta, who does win the header, but no real support for the French international. And Chelsea will quite easily retain possession once more. Santos picks the ball up and plays it into Gittings, but the English winger, who signed from Dortmund in the summer, not interested in going forward, so Chelsea will just keep passing between the defence. Santos and Reece James playing in that holding role now will have a lot of the ball, Santos in particular. Be interesting to see how many minutes that Andre Santos will get under Liam Rosenior, a man he knows very well, as Santos was on loan at Strasbourg, where Rosenior was last year. It's his 6th start in the Premier League this afternoon. He's looked pretty comfortable most of the time, but he's happy to take a risk with his passing. There was one sloppy ball that put Banyashil under a bit of pressure early on, which nearly led to a goal. There's going to be a few more changes here. We're going to see João Pedro's afternoon come to an end. And Liam Delap is going to come on for Chelsea. And Christiantos Uche is going to replace Philippe Mateta for Crystal Palace. So both sides now made their final changes. We'll see Joel Hato coming on for Captain Reece James moments ago as well. So a bit of a sour end to this game, really. It was a good contest, even at 2-0. Crystal Palace were really giving it a go. But the third goal, the penalty from Enzo Fernandez, really took the sting out of this game. And then the sending off making things even more difficult for Oliver Glasner's side. Glasner's now sat looking pretty glum on the bench as we've got 5 minutes plus added time to go. Opportunity for Liam Delap to try and add to his 1 Premier League goal for his new side. Obviously, he was in the Premier League last season with Ipswich. Managed to get that goal against Fulham in the 2-1 loss just before Liam Rosenior officially took charge. Riyad for Crystal Palace playing on the left side of that centre back trio. Goes from left to right over to Uche, who can't keep possession, but it does bounce off to Lerma, who breaks forward and goes past 2 players and then finds Pino to the left of him. Pino goes even further left to Croatian Borna Sosa. Sosa puts the ball in towards Uche, but headed away by Chelsea, and that'll be a throw into Crystal Palace level with the edge of the area over on the far side. Chris Richards, the American, just drying the ball with his top. In fact, places that ball down and picks a fresh one up off of the cone just ahead of him. Gets right back on the advertising hoardings and takes 5 steps forward and then sends the ball in towards the box. It's flicked on by Lacroix towards Saab. It comes back to the French international, then strikes the ball out of the goal. It's a good save by Sanchez on his near post. And that'll be a corner in the end. Good footwork from Maxime Lacroix. The Frenchman. Ended up striking it straight at Robert Sanchez, but with good power. The Spanish keeper will be happy to turn that one behind, trying to secure his 9th clean sheet of the season. Chelsea haven't had a league clean sheet since the 13th of December, before last weekend. Ball in towards the box, is bouncing around and it's being flicked on, and we do have a goal. Palace have one back. It's Chris Richards who's ended up heading home from 2 yards out. Chaos in the box after the corner, really good delivery, and it was returned in and it bounced up, and Chris Richards was there just to flick it on. Nothing Robert Sanchez could do about that from close range. Plenty of bodies ahead of him. Lerma nearly turned it in himself and it was clawed off the line. Riyad then had a shot which took a deflection and it was turned home by Chris Richards. It's an incredible save by Sanchez to keep out the original effort from Lerma right on the line. But Chris Richards does turn it home for his first goal this season for Crystal Palace. It is his 100th game for the club as well, so won't be marking it with a win, but does get his first goal for the club since April. Chelsea won't be able to keep that 9th clean sheet. So 88 minutes on the clock. Palace do have a consolation. It's Crystal Palace 1, Chelsea 3. Bit of a spring in Yeremy Pino's step as he puts the Chelsea backline under pressure, which means Chalobah then just sends it long and away. Ball will bounce, and Chris Richards, who just scored that goal, heads it back to Dean Henderson, who grabs it in his hand and then rolls it out left-handed to Riyad on the left-hand side. He'll then go into Lacroix, who was part of that goal. His ball goes forward towards Sarr, who's then ended up being fouled, and there's going to be a yellow card here as well. A little bit of sorting out for Darren England to do. Lerma and Enzo Fernandez have been going at it all game. I think Jefferson Lerma is being shown a yellow card for asking for a yellow card for someone else. Darren England's then also flashed the yellow card at potentially Andre Santos for making the foul, but we'll double check that one. Yep, so the Chelsea midfield, Andre Santos, picks up a yellow card. That's his 4th of the season, and Jefferson Lerma goes into the book for the 5th time this season. 4th official getting ready to let us know how many minutes will be added on at the end. There was a lengthy VAR check, remember, for the penalty. As the clock ticks over to 90 minutes, it's 9 minutes added on. Stranger things have happened if Palace can get the next goal. Palace are in possession with the 10 men inside the Chelsea half. Ball sent forward towards Uche, but headed away. Returned by Sosa. And Lerma will battle Andre Santos. Both players just been booked, and it's Lerma who goes through the back of Santos, and there'll be a free kick for Chelsea. Liam Rosenior will just want a little bit of calm from his side after conceding late. So we just seen the replay. Lerma asked for the yellow card for Santos, who kicked the ball away. So that's why he was booked, as they're not allowed to do that. Eight minutes to go then in this game. 91 minutes on the clock. Robert Sanchez with the ball at his feet sends the ball forwards. And further goals in the other games have all gone to the away sides. So it's Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 2, and Brentford 0, Nottingham Forest 2. Not a good sign for the home teams in the 2 o'clock games this afternoon in the Premier League. Ball sent forward by Palace, but hooked away by Chelsea, and Will Hughes and Lerma will battle for it in midfield. Pime then flicks it on over the head of Fofana, but cleared away by Chelsea again. Scrappy in midfield as Lerman then hooks it forward towards Uche, but again resolute defence from Chelsea. Send it long. Lerman then sends it high into the sky, and it's headed away by Badiashile. Then Gusto will smash it up towards halfway. Delap tries to bring it down, but Crystal Palace again managed to win the ball back with Chris Richards, who returns it to his keeper. 2 of the 9 minutes have been played. Henderson sends it long out towards the right hand side. It's flipped on by Sarr, but hooked away by Cucurella, and then nudged on towards Liam Delap, who will get good territory for Chelsea over on the left hand side. Now level with the edge of the area, plays the ball in towards Gittings in the box, but cleared by Sosa. Uche can take it on his chest on the halfway line, but Badiashile pokes it away from the Nigerian. Chelsea back in possession after Fernandez finds Cucurella. Now Hato finds Cucurella on the left hand side. They trade passes, and Chelsea will win a throw off of Chris Richards on the far side. Mark Cucurella takes his time as he goes, picks up another ball and throws it down the line to Liam Delap, who controls it with his right foot, finds the Spanish fullback in support. Chelsea just playing good keep ball at the moment. Go from left to right, and Gusto flicks it down the line for Gittings to chase, but it's the Moroccan Riyad who does well with neat footwork and then returns the ball to his captain, Dean Henderson. Henderson rolls the ball out of his feet and sends it high and long out to the left-hand side, and Uche will go up with Chalobah, but Chalobah just leans on it. And then Fofana wins a free kick. Frustrating for Crystal Palace not being able to keep that possession in the opposition half. But their job made all the more harder, losing that man, Adam Wharton, in this 72nd minute for that second yellow card. Chelsea clip the ball up towards Liam Delap, who's wrestling with Lacroix. Fairly, according to the referee, both players hit the deck, and Riyad finds Jefferson Lerma, and then they return it to Dean Henderson under pressure from Fernandez. Kicks it long out towards the right hand side, and Sarr will give chase, but headed away by Cucurella. Picked up by Hughes, and Palace will keep possession in the Chelsea half. Uche drifting out to the right hand side, attacks the corner of the box, tries to put a ball in. It flicks off of Cucurella and cleared away by Chalobah to the feet of Fernandez, who goes down looking for a free kick. Nothing given. Palace come forward again, and Hughes finds Pino in the centre of the area. Works it out to Uche, tries to play it in first time. That's going to go straight into the hands of keeper Sanchez in his all green keeper's kit. Yellow boots, rolls it out to Gusto, plays it up the line towards Delap, and Delap nudges it on for himself, but Riyad does well to come in and mop it up behind. Ball into the feet of Henderson, who sends it long towards Gusto to return, but Palace do get good possession again in the Chelsea half, the 10 men. Pino twisting and turning, goes past Malo Gusto, tries to thread a ball down the line towards Uche, but good defending from Fofana. Then Gusto can only hook it up into the air, into midfield. Ball will bounce a couple of times and nodded forward by Riyad, and Fofana comes in and sweeps it away. Really scrappy from both sides at the moment, but Chelsea will break on the left-hand side. It's Enzo Fernandez with a great touch, and he'll run towards the box. Couple of step overs, gets in on the left-hand side, goes past Richards, but